Hey everyone, I'm Zain, this is Auto Group, and this is our 2020 Alfa Romeo Giulia Q4. Q4 means all-wheel drive. Once again, in case you forgot, we did do a full review on this car with a drive as well and everything like that. But this is like more of an update video because we got it last year, April. So it's been quite a while now. Probably almost a year and a half, maybe more. So here it is in the black color on the outside. I think this one is called Volcano Black. It's a non-metallic color, so it gives you that really deep black. And another touch actually that I don't think we showed in the video, but it says Alfa Romeo actually over here on the light housing at the side, which is a great touch. Speaking of the lights, when you have them in their, like on position like this, they honestly they remind me quite a bit of a Maserati. And of course that is also a Stellantis product. So I really like that look that it gives you. And people, compliment the car a lot and say that it has very nice looks, of course. Which I agree with, of course. Excellent Italian design. So in this video, the purpose is more towards focusing on the ownership experience instead of actually reviewing the car, because we already did, of course. So, for example, one of the awesome things about this car is when you remote start it and you get in the car, when you approach the car, it automatically turns on your heated seat and your heated steering wheel as well. And I think it also sets the climate control to, help you feel nice and cozy inside, which is a great touch. I haven't really heard anybody talk about that feature of this car. Okay, so inside the Alfa Romeo Giulia, a few excellent features that you really get to enjoy with this car long term. Some of them that I like personally is that when you put the car into advanced efficiency, for example, your display in the center, actually you could change it with this little button on the column for your windshield wipers and everything. So if you press menu, you get this little earth display. And as you accelerate, on the road or stuff, and as you brake, it tells you whether or not, I guess, you're being efficient. And when it fills up with color, that means you're being efficient. So it's a good feature. And I think it actually changes the brake feel quite a bit as well. So it makes the brake pedal feel a little firmer. So I guess to make you stop smoother and everything is more calm. And the other thing is it explains all these different drive modes here under vehicle information. If you go to DNA, right over here you can see this car has an engine torque limiter, which is on now in advanced efficiency. I think it limits the torque, it softens the driving experience. Everything is in comfort over here and normal for your pedal and your all-wheel drive system. And then the cool thing is in neutral, what you got is it gets the limiter turned off, but everything is still comfort, still relaxed. This is basically the only mode I drive this car in, pretty much. And because it's a perfect blend of both performance and comfort. And in dynamic, of course, everything gets to sport and more angry. So you got steering sport, shifting sport, all-wheel drive sport, and the gas pedal is also sport. And this car, guys, it really changes up when you go into dynamic mode. And it's great for the track. If you didn't watch our video, we also drove our car on the track back in, I think, May or June, so around Black Hawk Farms. So it was, a great experience there as well. Honestly, if you want to do more and more tracking days with this car, I recommend you probably switch to some more aggressive tire for that type of thing. But we drove it in the rain, so it was super fun sliding around in this car. And that's another feature about this car. I don't think it's mentioned a lot about this, but the all-wheel drive system is so smart to where it's basically always in rear-wheel drive. You go to performance pages and then go down here to all-wheel drive. For example, it shows you right now just the rear wheels will get power. But if you pick it up hard from a stop sign or a stoplight, then it will give you, your front wheel drive assistance to help you out with more grip, which is great for the Chicagoland area in the snow. But just to let you know, mainly it's always in rear wheel drive, which is awesome, because first when I was gonna buy this car, I wanted it with rear wheel drive. And then later on, I learned that the whole thing pretty much stays in rear wheel drive, which is an excellent feature. In terms of fuel economy, this car is actually really good. If you're just going in your normal city and stuff, let me show you. It can, of course, tell you your range. On this screen, it shows, which is decently accurate. When you get under maybe 50 miles of range, it gets a bit, inaccurate, and tells you that you have to, kind of basically stop for the next gas station. But still, for, a 4-cylinder with this much power, 280 horsepower, just to remind you, and 306 pound-feet of torque, the fuel economy is really good. You can get around maybe, I think, probably 25 miles per gallon combined. In my experience, at least, it's been pretty good. In my display right now, it shows my average is like 18.7, which is because these days it's being driven in the city. But when you mix up your highway and city driving, I think it gives quite a lot more, which is really good. And another cool thing, since I mentioned the horsepower and torque, in your performance pages, when you get out of this all-wheel drive menu, come up here to technical gauges, and boom, it shows you these awesome gauges. So when you rev it up, it shows you your live torque number basically, which is really, really nice. I had these on, I think, when we were on the track day. So other things regarding the ownership experience, in terms of driving especially, because to me this is the most important characteristic of this car. Two most important things in my opinion in a driver's car are the way it drives and the way it looks, because both things impact what you feel about the car. So the first thing regarding the driving experience is that it's easily, out of all the cars we have reviewed, the best driving overall sports car, especially for the money. There are a few other cars that of course I enjoyed driving in the past, like the Audi R8, the Lexus LC500, but those cars are not exactly the complete package for your daily driving like this car is. So in terms of that, the driving experience is unmatched so far. From what I've driven, there's nothing that drives like this, and so I'm super grateful that I got to own the car that I love to drive the most. Thank God. That's absolutely excellent. The other things, this now has 8,550 miles. Throughout that, it's been on site, kind of long drives as well, to like Joliet, from here to Joliet, for example, an hour and 30 minutes maybe. When we drove up to Blackhawk Farms, that was also good. So on highway speeds, the engine is basically so silent, you barely hear it, and you just hear a bit of exhaust burble. The main thing was the wear and tear issue, just a bit, with the wheel alignment, because mainly I kind of blame our city roads for that because they're not exactly the best. Even on highways where it's really a safety issue, they're still not that amazing. So this car, can you imagine on like Italian roads or somewhere where it's just absolutely pure tarmac, beautiful, you probably won't get any of those types of issues. You know, it's a very lightweight type of sports car. I'm sure the components are light. They're not exactly built for such extreme, you know, wear and tear. So definitely not a car that you want to like Uber in or something in the city. Just an excellent, fantastic daily driver. So anyways, just a few more things. Let me just show you the exhaust note actually. And I think in dynamic, the exhaust gets a bit more bass filled, which is something I noticed. So let's go ahead and go outside and take a listen to that. The first bit of that was all in normal mode, and then if you might have noticed, I think I clearly noticed that there's a difference in dynamic. It feels more raspy, more angry, which is great. Maybe it has something to do with the throttle mapping that they change in dynamic, I think. When the sport pedal goes to, when your pedal goes to sport, I feel like they change a bit of the fuel mapping, so, which is absolutely excellent. And yeah, that's pretty much been it overall. The other thing that I guess I noticed long term is that pretty much the room in the car, when I got more and more comfortable sitting in it, I'm about 6'3", so in terms of my driving position, the way I sit, it is one of the best driving positions that I've ever experienced in a car. The way the wheel comes close to you, even for someone like me. Usually the problem is when you make your seat properly, you gotta hold the wheel a little far for taller people, but what ends up happening, I guess, is, you know, the space in the back isn't all that much behind me. But you know, honestly, if you're about average height, let's say, it shouldn't be a problem. But yeah, it's not like I really haul around people in this car a lot, so it kind of has that sports couperish type of vibe, but you could fit a lot of good stuff. And I think in the trunk, I also showed you that, I guess, in the review as well. So just to remind you once again with the trunk, there's a lot of space. It's very impressive actually, the way you got space in this car. You can load up a bunch of stuff. We did once, I think, when we were moving, or I think when we switched from the ES to the Jeep, we loaded all the ES stuff in this car, so actually quite a lot of room in that. And yeah, that's pretty much been it overall for this ownership update video, I guess. Let me know what kind of videos you want. After this, I also plan another video showing you kind of, I think, 8 or 9 different excellent features that you could find in this car that are not really talked about. So thank you so much for watching this episode of Auto Group. Make sure to like and subscribe. These days we haven't been reviewing too many cars except for our own, basically because of the kind of shortage in general of cars. But yeah, anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate the support on the channel, especially the ES video. So yeah, that's been the Giulia, and it's even got these nice rounded off view mirrors that kind of make it more Italian in my opinion. So yeah, that's it. Thank you so much, guys. Take care.